everybody, Bob with Knives Town here. Today we're going to take a look at a knife from Gerber. This is the Gerber Applegate-Fairbairn Covert folder. And I have to say that name carefully because there's a number of different variations of this knife, which I'll talk about maybe a little bit later. But this particular one is the Applegate-Fairbairn Covert. It is a tactical knife and sold as such. I think it does a good job in that category. It is a manual opening knife, but it opens very easily, very smoothly and easily. It almost feels like an assisted opener, but it's just a regular flip open knife. I'll give you the specs on that. That blade is 3.75 inches. It does have a black titanium nitride coating on it. The steel on this knife is made of 154 cm, and that's a good thing to see from Gerber, because if you're familiar with Gerber at all, you know that some of their knives, they make a lot of value type knives, and the steel in some of those knives is sometimes not well documented. It won't be written on the blade or in the packaging or on the advertising anywhere, and if you run it down and really research it, sometimes you'll find it's 425 modified or 440A, something like that. On this particular knife, though, I'm glad to see they're using the 154 cm, and in that case, in the case when they're using this, they do actually write that on the blade. So when they use the 154 cm, they say so on the blade. But that's a great steel. It's a very good steel. I remember when 154 cm first came out, it was the new super steel, and everyone was all abuzz about it. It's stuck around, and for good reason. It's a very good steel, very respectable. That is again, so 154 cm blade, 3 3/4 inches. The handle is made of a glass-filled nylon, which of course makes it extremely tough and rugged. And that handle does have nested steel liners inside, so that makes it very rigid and strong and sturdy. It's a liner lock knife, and it can be open and closed with one hand. It does have dual thumb studs, and it's just a fast, fun, great using little knife. Let's get a close-up on that. Show you the blade there. Rex Applegate is the one that is mostly credited with these knives, at least when you read about them. He's the one that they talk about a lot, and he was, of course, a decorated military hero. You can see the black coating on the knife there. This particular model is serrated, and they do come serrated, so it is a serrated knife. That serration pattern, as you can see, there is two smalls and a large, which is a great pattern. On this side there is the Covert folder, and I don't know if you can read that or not, but right underneath there is where it says the 154 cm. You can see the design of this blade. It's designed in the spear point style or dagger style. Now, it is only sharpened on one side, of course, which is a legality in most states. Double-edged knives do pose a bit of a legal issue in a lot of places. So this is sharpened only on one side. If your knife laws did allow, I suppose you could sharpen this upper side here, at least back to this point where the blade widens and you've got jimping up there. I don't know if you'd really want to do that or not, but that's, of course, personal choice. It could be done if you wanted. The handle there, as you can see, that's the glass reinforced nylon. It does have this pattern on it here for grip. It does come with a lanyard hole. It is a liner lock knife, and I did mention that there's steel liners inside there. This particular knife also comes with a safety a safety that holds the knife open, so that if anybody is worried about the liner lock failing, as some people are a little skittish about liner locks and think they fail a lot. I personally am not in that camp, but if you're worried about that, or if you want that little extra degree of safety, you can just snick that on there. And what that does is, if you can see right in here, I'll move that for you so you can see it. There, you can see that it's off, which allows the liner lock to be moved over. Then the liner lock deploys, and when I put that safety on, there, you can see that little piece of metal moved in there, and now I can't get that liner lock away. So it's not going to slip off the bottom of the blade. It does come with a pocket clip, which is reversible right versus left, but it's not reversible to tip up carry. So it is a tip down only carry. So if that's an issue for you, you might want to think about that, or at least know about that in advance. It is a tip down carry. But that handle is very comfortable. You can see that it's open here where the pivot and the working mechanisms are, but then it's closed here and on the bottom as well. The liner lock is ridged to give you easy access on that, good grip for that. And when the knife does close, it seats down all the way, and it's completely hidden inside the handle. So if you did sharpen that upper edge, there would be no cutting edge, exposed, so you would still be safe. It's very comfortable, and I would say that as far as grip goes, I would give it high marks, particularly with this pinch design up here. When you go to grab this knife or hold it, your thumb and your forefinger naturally just go to that pinch spot right there, and that makes a very solid hold. It makes it very solid, particularly in the thrusting motion like that, because you've got an upper and a bottom ramp, almost a hilt, to hold your knife firmly in your hand and keep your hand from going onto the blade and giving you extra pressure in the forward motion there. But if you want to choke up on the knife, like I say, there is jimping on the top of the blade there. So one could put their thumb out like that and work on it like this. It certainly works well in that regard. No problem there. It's a full-size knife. This is not a small knife. I wouldn't say it's hugely large either, but it's just certainly a good sized, regular sized knife. It'll do a lot of good cutting work for you. It's easy to open and close. That's what I really like about it. You can really get that open and closed fast. And I suppose for a tactical, that's certainly what you'd want. It's an oval designed handle, so that's not going to twist in your hand. Your grip on that will be sure and secure. The pocket clip can be removed entirely if you don't want it on, or you can reverse it, like I said. But it is tip down carry. It is a low rider. You can take a look at this and see. You can see how far up that would carry. Very little. Even the thumb studs would be concealed. So in a case like that, that's about all right there. Just that part right there above my thumb that you would see sticking out of your pocket. And it's black, so it's not going to attract attention. I like that. And the clip is black too. I like that. The thickness of the blade is certainly thick enough for good use. It's not overly thick, but it's not too thin either. like I was saying, there are a lot of different variations of this knife. It's been around for a long time. I have a Applegate-Fairbairn combat folder, which is a larger version, and I've had this for a number of years. It's funny to look at it because even as old as that is, you can see that it's exactly the same design in the handle, and it has you can certainly see the lineage there. And this has that same easy opening. It's got a little bit of a different thumb ramp on it there. It's got the fold over, but you know, as you can see, that's the same. Now that is a little bit larger one than the Covert, and this is still available if you want that. You can get that. Now you can also get a mini Covert, which is even smaller, and you can get a Covert with the fast assisted opening technology also. But this is probably the one that's the most popular. This is the most common size, and it's just a good using size. You know, it really fills the gap between. It's kind of a hybrid tactical knife, pocket knife. It's not so massive and aggressive that it can't be considered a pocket knife, but it does have certainly the characteristics of a tactical knife. The spear point, the style of the blade, the serrations, the black color. It's, you know, it definitely does have tactical DNA in it. So that's the Gerber Applegate-Fairbairn Covert. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you again.